Further in the MEMX Automation Solution video series is reporting on information that happens on the shop floor. This is a critical aspect about extracting the information of the machines, knowing what they are, validating what's in fact actually happening, having a historical log to be able to go back. It's not uncommon in a lot of machining practices, especially aerospace industry, where years after the fact people go through and investigate the actual machines, the actual operator was at the particular machine at a particular point in time to see about how a particular part was machined and what was happening in that way. We investigate in detail how this works and what happens. Fortunately, there is virtually unlimited number of reports within the MEMX reporting system for OEE. Why is it unlimited? Because we have a filtering capability that can access any number of combinations of filters any which way you want to slice and dice and look at things, as well as particular charts, specialized programs, reports. There's all sorts of graphics and analysis tools built in, some samples of which you can see here in the particular chart. Now, further to that, we actually have all kinds of tracking of machine manufacturing operations, performance in real time, monitoring each CNC via LANs, monitoring it via WANs, and so forth. We have e-maintenance alert systems, again for overall reporting, so that the systems can be sent out by smartphone through email or text messaging alerts sent directly to notify you if something is particularly going wrong with a machine. And the flexible, easy-to-use ad hoc report writer is very simple to select dates, select up to 8 particular selection criteria with Boolean algebra, context sensitive because of the SQL database that it works with, types of available reports, and then be able to group reports 3 different ways as well as sorting and subtotaling. Very powerful to be able to look at reports in any which way that makes sense for you. Simple example here is an operator report. Overall operator summaries can be extracted to an Excel spreadsheet. You can look at exact results, again sorted by any which. To look at reporting in detail, we first select on the particular report generator, which we can see right here under the report menu. That brings up the overall report generator dialog box here, and we can then select from any number of particular reports that are on the dialog box here. It's important to note that each of these reports are customized on an XML fashion, coming from a master report, which is an RPT report, which is supplied by MEMX. So again, we mentioned unlimited number of reports because you can take the base standard reports, customize those in any which way that makes sense for you, and save them as it makes sense for what you're dealing with. If we take a look carefully, we're going to look at this particular report, a downtime drill down by hours. We're going to take a look at it as it crosses 3 particular machines and dealing with 2 particular operators, John Rattray and Brian Ramos. We can look at it by date, time frame. We can select a particular date such as today. We can take a particular calendar date as we're seeing here. We can actually do a plus and minus in regards to dates in terms of how that actually works in terms of what we're seeing, or select the actual calendar date. So very flexible using the Advanced Microsoft Toolkit for the 2010 Microsoft Visual Studio, and it's all built under .NET capabilities. This particular reporting also uses SAP's Crystal Report, so it comes up with the particular standards that we can work with. Once we have a particular set of reports, we can then sort by 3 different ways and then do subtotals. If we take a look at the sorting, we can see here we can do it by category, by shift date, by shift number, name, machine number, machine date, work order, product ID, operator ID, and operator name. So again, and we can do the same thing with groupings 2 and 3 here by sorting and subtotaling accordingly. And if we look here in particular operators, we can look at particular selections here for multiple things: machine numbers, names, categories, work orders, product IDs, operator names, shift names and numbers. So many ways to sort and look at things. As well, we have Boolean algebra capabilities built in: greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, likes, not equals to, so forth. And the logic is all sensitive to the in fact actual information that we're working with as it relates to the particular field that we're searching for, and in this particular case we have it. So, and just to run it, let's do a print preview, and we can actually print this particular report. And we're seeing here we now have a detailed runtime report. It's 8 pages long. We can see here that we're running a particular report, and it's under feed hold, Cincinnati Gantry Mill, shift number 1, downtime, down minutes, down instances, on total by operator, because that's what we asked it to do. And if we can cycle through and look at a few more, again, operator John Rattray, status of what was going on for each particular downtime, and we can cycle through to an overall total, and we get a downtime summary charts in terms of Pareto, how actually things worked. So we can see that this is easy enough to put together and do, and we exit from this one here. We can, by the way, export these reports in any particular standards, Crystal Report standards, PDF, Excel spreadsheets, CSVs, RTF, XML standards. So all these come together that we can work with and export in those particular fashions and ways. So we save this report, and again we can have multiple different reports to look at, and we can see that there's much that can be had in this particular area. So we see here a number of reports that have already been put together in PDF fashion, easy to display and work with. Clearly an OEE summary report that we're dealing with, tracking it by individual machine numbers as we've asked to report. We can go into utilization machines, highlighting with green and yellow highlighters particular areas that make sense for us. We can deal with work orders from master work orders and sub work orders, and dealing with much information to report with. Go to a production work order. We can see here again the master work order numbers, shift parts and scrap, sub work orders, and so on. And in fact, we can get into trend reports. If we see here, we scroll down to the trends, we get downtime trends, setup trends, reject trends, and production trends. So again, these are good at just overall reporting. We can report on downtime reasons codes by shift, and these are the downtime reasons codes for individual machine, so it's mapped by the actual machine to be able to report on. And we can look at things like the downlog report, a very important one that tracks the date and time stamp, duration, down reason, what shift it was on, and track it overall by time. In this case, we selected numbers of machines, and we're reviewing carefully exactly the overall downlog of those machines, what they were in fact doing and operating over time. And of course, we come up with the totals as it makes sense to how this is operating. We also have summary by work orders. We can do operator reports in terms of efficiencies, daily work order reports, daily work orders with no shifts. We can specify different ways there. Daily graph reports, and if we cycle down and take a look at this production, also its overall efficiency, made up of utilization, yield, and standard rate, all being calculated and shown there. And we get a shift OEE summary, as well as a daily OEE and component summary for each of the ones that we're working with. And we can look at daily operations OEE reports, things that could be emailed or PDF sent off to you accordingly, Pareto downtimes, and summary work orders by schedules. Some example reports here. We've got pivot charts that have been extracted here from a particular customer in the Midwest US area, being able to put together different charts in the way that they want to see their particular machines. We see here in this particular pie chart very simple views in regards to the analysis of downtime of that particular machine. We can look at a downtime OE operations report, and there's an actual production operation from one of our customers, started in the 20 to 25 to 30% range, and we're able to move it up to be consistently in the 50% range in terms of their operation. So over 100% improvement on that particular machine in itself. And we look here, particular machine, we benchmarked it in January, and we went from 56 minutes on that particular shift on that particular machine from the category material loading down to 17 minutes. And same on the category material feed from 89 minutes down to 35 minutes. So in one shift we were saving close to 80 minutes of time just by some of the functional changes we made, and we could track it analytically to see exactly how things were operating and working with.